Hi everyone, welcome back to this week's Technical Insights. The Straits Times Index rallied 1.9% or 61 points on Friday to 3,143 points, closing the week up 2.67%, higher than the week before. Only 3 counters on the STI Index fell on Friday, and Wilmar International was flat at $3.64. The rest of the 26 counters in the blue chip benchmark rose between 0.82% and 6.5% on Friday, 3rd of November. Across the broader Singapore market, winner beat losers 438 to 216, with 1.5 billion securities worth 1.1 billion being traded. Japan's Nikkei 225 was closed on Friday for Cultural Day National Day holiday, but the rest of the key market indices in the Asia-Pacific region finished on a high note. The Shanghai Composite Index actually climbed 0.71%, and the FTSE Taiwan 50 Index gained 0.67%. Hong Kong Hang Seng Index also advanced 2.52% to be the top performer last Friday among the Asia indices. Malaysia Bursa KLCI Index was also up 0.71%, so it's a big rosy week for Asia indices. The share price of YangZiJiang Shipbuilding actually jumped 2.01% to $1.52 on Friday, after the China-based vessel maker announced a $770 million win in orders for the third quarter of 2023 financial year. This brought the total order wins for the first 9 months of the current financial year to $6.5 billion, more than the $3 billion target for the whole financial year. The share price hit a high of $1.54 on Friday, which was up 12.41% from the $1.37 support we covered on the 23rd October video. Do click on the link on top of this video or the link in the description if you would like to understand the rationale of this trade setup. We are just 1 cent away from the first resistance target of $1.55 mentioned in the 23rd October video. And do look out for any changes or pullback in the momentum, especially on the MACD indicator, while we inch up to the final target of $1.59 near the 50 days moving average, which is the yellow line that you see over here. For the week, the global equities notched sizable weekly gains as investors grew hopeful that the Federal Reserve rate hike campaign is over, after the Fed held the benchmark interest rate steady at 5.5% for the second consecutive meeting last Wednesday. That is following a string of 11 rate hikes since the March of 2022. The Dow Jones Index was up 5.07%, its best weekly finish since October 2022, to close at 34,061 points, above the 34,000 psychological handle. The S&P 500 climbed 5.85% to its best week since November 2022 to end at 4,358 points. Tech-heavy Nasdaq was the top performer among the 3 US major indices, jumping 6.61% to 13,478 points, its best weekly close for the year so far. In Asia, the CSI 300, which measured the performance of the top 300 stocks traded on the Shanghai and Shenzhen Stock Exchange, rose 0.61% to finish at 3,584 points. The Hong Kong Hang Seng Index advanced 1.53% for the week to 17,664 points, its biggest jump in 2 months and a second consecutive week of gains after a private report showed service sector in mainland China expanded last month. On our local front, the RCI Index jumped 2.67% to close at 3,143 points. This was led by major real estate investment trusts like Fraser Logistics and Commercial Trust, Capital Land Ascendas REIT, and Capital Pacific Oak US REITs, which has bore the brunt of rising finance costs since central banks around the world started hiking interest rates last March to tame inflation. Capital Pacific Oak US REIT was the top performer among the REITs with a 15.18% surge in unit price for the week to US 22 cents. Locally, our 3 banks also joined in the rally. DBS, UOB, and OCBC Bank all bounced up for the week. DBS Group was up 0.48% to $33.29. UOB led the rally among the 3 banks, up 2.52% to close at $27.71. OCBC Bank also climbed 1.96% to close at $13.01 above the $13 mark. SGX gained 0.95% to finish the week at $9.53. The biggest winner on the STI index last week was Fraser Logistics and Commercial Trust, up 9.90% to close at $1.11. And the good news there was no loser on our benchmark index, with ThaiBev, Emprado, and Citrum all finishing flat despite the rally in the STI. An extra note here was the Capital Pacific US REIT, which was the top performer amongst the REITs with a 15.18% gain in unit price to US 22 cents. For this week, SIAS is organizing our annual Corporate Governance Week from 6 to 10 November. Local and global thought leaders will discuss issues on navigating legal, ethical, and social challenges as key pillar of strengthening corporate governance, with a series of conference and forum lineup. And on 10 November, we will be having our Investors Forum addressing ESG and climate governance insights for investors. So do look out for this virtual session happening this Friday. And that's all I have for this week technical updates. As usual, if you find this video useful, we do appreciate your support by considering giving us a like or a share, and hit that subscribe button to stay up to date to our latest content. And I'll see you again next week in the next Technical Insights.